team, and it is my privilege to introduce our wonderful icons on stage. We have these ICONversations every Friday following the big agent meeting. Make sure you come and check it out whenever you get a chance. Bring your teammates, bring other agents. You can always bring a guest as well. So we will have a wonderful, inclusive conversation here. Please feel free to put any questions in the chat at any time. Our agents can get to them, and we are always happy to help out with any questions you have about ICON as well. So without further ado, please let me introduce behind me. We have Krista Kohler from Florida. We have Chris Hennessy from Pennsylvania. We have Vinod Bansal from Ontario. Lisa Wonder may be joining us from Arizona. And our moderator for today's session is Jim Pruitt from Indiana. Give you guys all a round of applause. Jim, you can take it away, and I'll just be here if you need any assistance or help with anything.
Okay, great, thanks. It looks like we have North America covered pretty well with everybody where they're from here. So I'm from Madison, Indiana, cute little town on the riverfront. Been Icon 6 times now, just Icon earlier this month, so pretty excited about that. So this is good. The good thing about this is there are no right or wrong answers, panelists. Thanks for showing up today. If Lisa comes in, just let me know so we can include her in some of the questions here. So what we're going to do, just we're going to go down the line here and talk to you folks and ask a couple questions, but tell us a little bit about yourself, how many times you've iconed, and then go right on into the answer of the first question. So the first question we're going to ask today, in today's real estate, changing real estate market, what low-cost advertising ideas do you use to get listings? Social media, online presence, Facebook, Zillow, that type of thing. So low-cost advertising ideas you can get to get listings. So Krista, we'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about what low-cost advertising ideas you might use.
Hi, good morning, Jim. I am basically a dinosaur in real estate. I've been doing real estate for 20 years. I moved to EXP 2 years ago, right before COVID, and I iconed my second year. I'm going into my third year, and I'm very excited to be here and share with you what I know. As far as low-cost listing, I've never paid for any, leads. So low-cost conversations. I mean, we all know that the more conversations we have, the more opportunities we will have in this business. So I love on my SOI. I love on my clients and past clients, and that's where my listings are coming from right now.
You use social media, Krista?
I do use social media. I'm on Instagram, which feeds to my Facebook, but basically that's more for, I guess, keeping in front of my SOI and my friends and family. And I don't, really have used it or seen any conversion from somebody just calling me, hey, I want to list with you.
Okay. Well, thank you. We'll move down the line to Chris. Same question, Chris. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How long you've been with EXP, how many times you've iconed, and what low-cost social media or what advertising ideas you use for low cost in this changing market.
Okay, well, thanks, Jim. And similar to Krista, I've been in the business just about 20 years as well. Was on a family team with my parents and then transitioned to running my own team about 10 years ago. So I've always been part of a team and now a team leader. So that's been great. Been with EXP 2.5 years now, and it's been great. I transitioned from 15 years at Remax and a couple years at KW to EXP, and it's been a wonderful move. And I've iconed the first 2 years that I've been with EXP, which is really cool.
Good job.
Yeah, it's nice to. I always said to some colleagues and even to people in the business, I'm like, it's nice when you are rewarded for your production in a brokerage that's owned by agents, and then also you're given monetary awards in stock, as opposed to here's a nice plaque. So it's been nice. I would say, to answer your question about listings, a lot of sphere-based referrals is a big part of my business. It's a big blessing in my business. But one of the things that I've done in times that we're in right now, and I did this back in 2007, 8, 9, when we were looking for specific inventory in specific neighborhoods, and it's really low cost, but it's a little tedious, is to, and I stole this idea from Brian Buffini's guy, oh my gosh, his partner, great guy, I'm totally blanking on his name. Oh my gosh, I can't think of it.
I don't know. Does anybody
Yeah.
know? Type it in. If somebody knows in the audience, type it in.
Yeah, anyways, great guy. He's a partner with Brian Buffini from Chicago, and his thing was called instant inventory. And here's the crux of it, is you mail to the neighborhood, but you don't brand it to yourself as a real estate agent. It's not on letterhead. It's hand addressed envelopes, and it's a Word doc, and it's basically very simple. And I don't have one in front of me, but it's basically saying, hey, I've got buyers for your neighborhood. We're looking specifically for this area. They're pre-approved. Have you thought about selling, or do you know anyone in the neighborhood who's thinking about selling? And it basically can uncover hidden inventory, which is really what we need in this market. I just did one 2 weeks ago. It was 75 homes in the neighborhood. My assistant did the mailing for me. Right now, it didn't uncover anything, but my next step, which would be old school, and I don't know if, it's not fun, but it would be like a politician, and we are like politicians where we're asking for people to vote for us, to knock doors and say, hey, did you get my letter? I'm a real person. I live locally, and we're just looking for the next seller because I really do have a buyer that anxiously would like to be in this neighborhood. It's kind of old school, but it works.
Sure. Sure. All right, Vinod, you're from north of the border. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what advertising, low-cost advertising you do to get listings.
Yes, great. Thanks a lot, Jim. And right now, I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And this is my 12th year in the business. Earlier, I used to work with Raw LePage for 9 years, and I moved back to EXP 2.5 years back. And I've iconed in my first 2 years, and I've just entered into my 3rd year. And I'm pretty sure that I'll be icon this year as well. Right?
Fantastic.
Right, thanks a lot. And as far as the low-cost advertisements are concerned to get listings, yeah. So for me, I would always say 2 things. One is referrals. So referrals is the main key of the business. I mean, you got to talk to your past clients the way you can, maybe newsletters, email blasts, or whatever. So don't forget your past clients, because they are the persons who are, vouching for your services because they have experienced, personally that what kind of service you have provided them. So that is very, very cost efficient. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything. It just costs you probably a couple of calls or maybe a couple of visits every now and then. So that is one of the main things for me. And the second thing is organic. Like when we talk about social media, so organically, if people start liking you, they start following you. So definitely, you will be in their mind that whenever they are trying to buy, sell, or invest. So for me, I have grown my social media channels in last 2.5 years. I can say too much because on my TikTok, I mean, people said that TikTok doesn't work, but for me, TikTok does work. So I have around 50,000 followers there, and it's working pretty fine. A lot of engagement, a lot of phone calls, whatever we do there. And same goes for Instagram as well. And it is all organic. The main point is the consistency. So whenever you start anything, you got to do it. And I always say one thing that good days, when you're feeling good, everybody can work. But the challenge or the point is when you're feeling low or down, that day you should work. So that's what I can say. And it definitely has given a lot of results. And I would say without investing any dollar amount in there, basically.
Sure. Did you say 150,000 on TikTok?
50,000 on TikTok,
50,000.
around, around $40,000 or 40,000 on Instagram, basically. Yeah.
Cool. All right. All right. Yeah. And your past clients are the ones that love you and know you, and they're the ones going to refer you out. So that's always a great source. Meg, I don't know as a moderator if I'm supposed to chip in or not, but tell me to move on if not. But one thing on social media, one of the things I've learned is that use your same photo of yourself in the same backdrop picture on every social media, such as Facebook, Instagram, anything. Use your same pictures. And then there are so many times that I go in and I search for an agent and they don't have a picture or any bio on a lot of the free places like realtor.com, and homes.com is an up and coming one. So if you're not on homes.com, go in and check it out. Zillow and realtor.com. And so just use those places and make sure you have a presence out there so you can be found. And the biggest one then is having a Google profile and getting your reviews on Google profile. So that's where a great source of leads come from for myself personally. So next topic. So this is kind of hot in the news right now. Has Lisa joined us yet? Has anybody seen Lisa? I don't see her name on the list here. So I don't think she's here yet. Is she, Meg?
Yeah, I don't think she's here, Jim. You can just
Yep.
keep going ahead with the conversation. You're doing great.
Yep. So hot topic in the news today, AI. Do any of you use AI in your real estate business? And if you do, how do you use it? So we'll kind of go backwards this time. Bernard, go ahead.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. So, yes, definitely. We use AI, but to be honest, not to the extent which we all should be using. But ChatGPT is one of, I would say, the best thing happened, because for all your, maybe for your content, if you need some ideas, just ask it. Like, okay, I need content on motivation. Give me 10 posts, and boom, you will get all those posts. And then there are a couple of other things like ChatGPT, as I mentioned. And for videos, there is a website called did.com that is pretty easy. So what you can do is you can, have your avatar, or any other person who you like, and put your sound or content in there, and that text can be converted into audio, right? So that is one thing like which we are using. But I know AI is limitless, so we all should be using more and more in our regular time of work, whatever we are doing, whether it's listing, buying, or whatever. But yeah, so I mean, we are trying to learn every day, basically.
Cool. Hey, Vinod, could you put that website in the chat there so people can copy that if you would?
Sure, I can do that. This is the website. It's a very, very easy website, so check it out. So this is a great website if anybody wants to learn from here. So it's just great. And another website is I believe this is the website. Check it out for for pictures, videos, like all these are copyright free images you can find on this website, pexels.com, right? So these are a couple of the things which we are using. And I mean, again, as AI is emerging on a daily basis, so there are many other platforms like if you want to create something, a lot of people must be using this Mid-Journey. So I mean, you can get any image, create whatever is in your mind. You can go there, type it in that, oh, I want whatever it is in your weirdest dreams, and this website can generate those pictures. So we are kind of using, but still I can say that we are using AI maybe 10 or 20%, not even 50-60% basically.
All right. Thank you. Chris, your turn. You using AI, and how are you using it?
Not to the extent that Vinod is. I'm just we have only used it like very little bit in helping with just like, it's funny, you can actually describe some of the verbiage for a listing, and you can feed it some information in ChatGPT, and it will spit out really good descriptive ways of describing a home, as opposed to just trying to think of it yourself. We've toyed with that. I haven't really delved into it. I've been in some seminars with it, and want to learn more, but it sounds like some of these are good suggestions, but I have not delved in probably to the extent that we should.
All righty. And then finally, Krista, and then I don't know if any of you are using KV Core, but KV Core does have artificial intelligence built into it also with some of that. So if you're using KV Core, that's another part of that AI. But Krista, are you using AI in your business on a daily basis, and how are you doing that?
Basically, I've also dabbled in it. I actually use it for my property descriptions, or for example, if you say how to sell my listing, or if you want a plan of action, it's really cool how it spits out everything in a nice format. Of course, you have to be careful and make it your own, because I have seen a lot of texts written by other agents via AI. I know those agents, and I know that's not the language they use. So you really have to be careful and make it your own. It's a great tool because it's very eloquent, but you do tend to sound like a robot, or people will know that it's not you. So just be careful with that. I have used it. I actually went on a listing appointment, and I used some video content to embed into one of my listing presentations, which was really cool. And I believe I used Pexels, like Matt said, to get one of the videos to embed it into a listing presentation to create some kind of emotional connection with the house to the buyer, which is what I was trying to convey to the seller. And he was very impressed with it. So we're just at the little, we don't know how much we can use AI for at this point. It's just another job for us, right?
Yep. So yeah, it's one of the things I've learned with AI and ChatGPT is that if you're on a team, make sure that ChatGPT is in your name. It is your account. That in case one of your team members leaves, it learns you and you get to keep it. So make sure it's in your name if you're a team leader. So that way that when that
And
person.
I would like to add another thing here, Jim.
Yes.
I may.
Go ahead.
All right. So another website, I just found it out. It's very good for all the real estate agents. I've not kind of used it too much. I'm going to type it in. Use it. I think a lot of people, they are using this website. So it is basically when we go for, staging of the houses. So it does a virtual staging, right? So,
right.
So check out this website, roomai.com. So I believe a lot of agents, if they really don't want to get the real staging done, I mean, you can definitely get a virtual staging done with this AI tool. To be honest, I have not used it. I just came across this 2-3 days back, but definitely try it out, please.
All right, that brings up, I'm gonna throw in another question here. We're gonna ask the audience. You guys just give me a yes or no in the chat box. What do you guys think of virtual staging and the photographs on the MLS? Do you like it or don't like it? If you like it, just type yes. If you don't like it, type no. So just, you guys, this is just our own little poll here amongst us to see how people like the virtual staging on the MLS pictures. I'm seeing a lot of yeses, some nos there. So yes, 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 no, no, no. All right, that was just to get you guys involved a little bit. All right, moving on. Thanks, Vinod. Appreciate that. I'm not a big book reader, but there are some books that I've read that really changed my career. I will tell you that the books that I have read that really changed are The E-Myth Revisited: Why Most Small Businesses Fail and What to Do About It. It's a great book. It's an easy book. It's a paperback. Talks about systems and how to create systems and why systems are important. To take care of your money, there's a book called Profit First. Make sure you read that. And then one just to get you motivated, to get you kind of your work schedule, is Eat That Frog. And it's a real easy read. So those are the 3 top books that I would recommend. We're going to ask each of our panelists, Krista, is there any books that you would recommend for agents to read that they would have to read to help them with their real estate career to move them to the next level?
Absolutely. I have, a little library here in my office, and talking about listings and your first question, I think everybody should get Listing Boss. I mean, it's an amazing book. It shares with you how to talk to sellers, how to handle objections. So I love that book. I do like the other one, Exactly What to Say. I'm not sure who that's by. The other one I love is The 12-Week Year. I mean, I try, after reading that book, and it's something that you just have to reread. It's how I try to schedule my business, the 12-Week Year. And then the other fun ones are, Ryan Serhant. I love his books. It's just, you get a lot of good ideas. And of course, the one with Ed Milet. I hope that helps.
Okay. Hey, when you Krista, why don't you just type the name of those books in there so everybody can see
Sure.
those. So just type them when we're done. So
Yeah,
rest
no
of you. So Chris, next you're up next. What books have you read, or what would you think would be important for agents to read to move them on to their next level in their career?
Yeah, I just finished reading a great book by a guy named Tommy Spalding, and it's called The Gift of Influence. And it's not necessarily a sales book, but it's definitely one of the books that I think that we in this industry of real estate could benefit from in so many ways. He's got a lot of great stories of how we as people can influence other people in a positive way, and the power of that. And I think when we're interacting with clients, it's not just about the sale, it's about the influence that they have on us and we have on them. A great book, The Gift of Influence by Tommy Spalding. Another one that I've read is Traction, Getting a Grip on Your Business by Gino Wickman. It's a great book. I'll type these in, I guess, as well.
Yep, type them in, but yeah, talk about them a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that was really amazing, that book. It took me a while to get through because it's got a lot of good stuff in it, but it definitely is one that you can go back to and reference. It's just got a lot of stuff about visions, what it is you want to do in your business and how do you want to build it. And then another one that I always read years ago that I always refer back to is See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar.
Yep.
That's a great,
Yep.
he's an icon, right?
Yeah,
So,
it's some younger agents have probably heard Zig Ziglar, but for some of us longtime agents,
Yep.
I'm on about year 32 in the real estate business. So
Wow.
back before there was internet, back before there were cell phones, back when we used fax machines and carbon paper. So I don't know if
Yep.
if anybody can relate to that, but so yeah, Zig Ziglar was a hot topic years ago, and everything that he has said is really still very powerful today.
Exactly. It's kind of timeless. Yeah.
All righty. Bernard, what books or literature, what would you recommend?
Okay, so basically, I'm more a podcast person, very less book reading person. But then again, the one is I think it is already mentioned by Krista that the power of one more by Ed Milet, right? And another one which I can remember is The Psychology of Money, right? So I mean these are the two books which I can mention. But then again, there are various speakers which I try to listen on a daily basis. As I mentioned, that Ed Milet is one of my favorite. Gary Vee is the second one, and third one is the old guy Les Brown. So I mean, these are the three persons which I try to listen on a daily basis, see their videos, and listen to their podcasts.
Right. Is there any podcast that any of you would recommend to listen to?
Yeah, I believe this Ed Milet, people can check it out, and Les Brown is all time my favorite. So I mean, they have a lot of videos and podcasts available, basically.
There's a podcast out of some Texas with some EXP agents called The Only Real Estate Podcast Worth Listening to. The Only Real Estate Podcast Worth Listening to.
Oh,
So
not
they
sure.
have,
About this. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
So just check that out, guys. We'll type that in here when we have a second.
Bigger
All right.
Bigger Pockets is also another one, Jim. I like.
Bigger Pockets. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, EXP, they like you to be involved in your community and they like you to have fun. So the next two questions are answer them back to back. What do you do to give back to your community? And what do you do for fun in your personal life? So we'll start with Chris this time.
Okay. A thing that we started a few years back, which I really like, is there's a local woman that has basically filled a need for kids that don't have enough food at their own homes in our local community. I'm in the Philadelphia suburbs, and so it's called a Brown Bag Lunch Program. And so what we do as a team, and we go 3 times a year, we help organize all this different food, and it goes to these different schools, mostly elementary schools in our community, that kids that are on maybe the lunch program, and they were finding that these kids were coming in on Monday mornings hungry. So there wasn't enough food in their homes. And so these gift packets go out to these families and kids, and it's really neat. We help them do that. another thing we partnered with is there's a local women's shelter that really has rescued a lot of women from human trafficking. And so that's pretty powerful. We've partnered with them fairly recently, and we're trying to do an event with them where we can help them raise money for their, they have a beautiful farm and a kind of a secret location so that nobody even knows where it is. I don't even know where it is, but it's somewhere out here. And that's been a passion of mine to do more for that phenomenon and scary rising industry of human trafficking. On a fun note, I love to ski. I take time with my family. I got 3 kids. I have 3 kids that are all, my last one just is going to college. And so we do like to ski. We like to do some hiking, family in Florida. So we get down there and relax on the beach. But I would say that's pretty much it. Keeping busy with work and family. And that's pretty much my life, but it's been great.
Well, and it's very important to have a work-life, family life balance.
Yeah.
We've seen so many people work, get kind of burnt out on it. So, it's having your work hard, and then go have fun, and that's important with the XP agents to have fun. So, Vinod, what do you do to give back to your community, and what do you do for fun?
Yeah, so for community, what we do is we have a foundation known as Sick Kids Foundation. It is one of the biggest foundations here in Canada, right? So we try to collect donations for that organization. Every 3 months, we organize small events. People, they come, they just interact with each other. Those are basically networking events, but at the same time, what we do is we put up a stall for that particular foundation, and we tell everybody that, okay, we got to collect this much money and send it to this foundation, because that take care of all, like a lot of sick kids in and around the area. So that is one thing which we do. And then we kind of try to raise funds for people in other countries, like in South Africa and in India as well. So we try to get these donations, and we send it across to those foundations as well. And for fun, I mean, I love gardening and I love traveling. At the same time, my son, he likes to play golf. So, but I don't know how to do that. But I go with him. But it's a fun time with him. That a nice family time. And but gardening, you can say, is one of the best thing which I would like to do.
Sure. All righty, Krista, what about you? How do you what do you do
Hi.
to give back to your community, and what do you do for fun?
So we live in Florida, in the land of hurricanes, right? So we've done a lot of fundraising, when the big hurricanes have come our way, and this past year, or last year in Fort Myers, Florida, was devastated. So on this side, I live on the other side of the coast, so we did do a lot of fundraising for that, and through church, we go to Spanish River Church. There was a lot of collecting of donations to send them over to the other side of the state. So that's an ongoing effort, because people tend to forget that people are still suffering out there. There's still lack of housing for some people. So we still try to keep that in the front, in the forefront of people's minds. And then, for me, I haven't done much about this, but, one of my goals is really to empower everybody to attain home ownership. I have to go back to the podcast that Glenn Sanford did with one of the ICON agents in the West Coast, and she's really involved in the community and helping bring investors in and build affordable housing. So now that I'm at this stage in my life, I really would like to get more involved in that and help with affordable housing and home ownership. And as far as what I do for fun, I mean, I'm busy. I love to travel. I haven't really been able to do that too much, but I love traveling. I love going to new restaurants. I have 3 kids. So we just, being with them is fun for me whenever I have time, if that makes sense.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I've personally, on a personal note, I've been an auctioneer for about 15 or 20 years. Don't do many auctions. But one of the things we do is charity auctions, and I've raised just about $2 million over the past probably 15 years for charity auctions here locally, helping different organizations. So when I say help, I'm just get up and talk. They do all the work behind the scenes, and then I just get up and do the bid calling. So it's pretty rewarding. So it's, the more you give, the more you get, and it seems like we get busy and we get wrapped up in our business life, but getting out and giving, it will return to you so much. So I think everybody would echo that. But so I think the two foundations in my mind of real estate is relationships and systems. And we talked earlier a little bit about what can we do to get advertising and so forth. But kind of a two-part question here. What do you all of you, and we'll start with you, Krista. What do you do on a relationship schedule to build and maintain those relationships, whether that's follow-up with, automated follow-up or whatever? And then what type of systems do you have in place to make sure that your business runs smoothly? So for predictable and repeatable results. So Krista, if you'll talk about relationships and systems a little bit, and there's no right or wrong answers here. Everybody has systems in their business. So just talk about those a little bit, what kind of relationships and how you develop those and what kind of systems you use.
Okay, so as far as relationships, obviously I think, we're in a relationship business, we're connecting with people, and perhaps, I would say if we think about our superpowers, to be emotionally intelligent and lead people with love and to get into action. So I love loving on my people. I think I said that in the beginning. My business is by referral, and I will do micro parties throughout the year or the pop buys. I think Chris mentioned Chris Buffini or Brian Buffini, I'm sorry. And he was my first coach back 20 years ago. And he was all about the pop buys, right? So you need to little gifts here and there to remind people that you're alive and that you're in business.
Top of mind awareness.
Top of mind, exactly. So I do that about 4 times a year. I do Valentine's Day. I love on people. I either do, little bundt cakes or cupcakes, whatever it is, but I drop off. And then 4th of July, we do something with a little bucket. If I know they have kids, I will put sunglasses in there, safe toys. Then I don't do Thanksgiving. I used to do Thanksgiving, but I do that the week before, or I do it in October where I'm thankful for you, my client, and I will do either a dinner or a party somewhere. And then for the holidays. So, that really has kept my relationships with all my clients going. And I also share with them a quarterly magazine that is Reminder Media. I'm standing about 85 right now, a quarter, and that also has brought me business just because I actually do in the inside cover, I customize it to me so they know that I'm selling real estate. As far as my tools, of course we have our CRM with KB Core, which I'm still trying to manage and learn.
Isn't it?
It's a monster. So
it's a monster, but
this year I said I was going to be able to, master it. I haven't mastered it, and I don't think you can ever say you master something, but I'm curious and I'm always learning. I love spreadsheets, so I do have separate spreadsheets for things. With EXP, I was just so incredibly grateful to come into EXP 2 years ago, because now I feel like I have a community. So everything I learned from workplace and the training and education that you guys give us. So as far as systems, yes, it's a CRM, and everything else I Google, YouTube. I don't know what else exactly. Guess that's it. Redex or Espresso Agent. So I do have that. Property Radar is something where I get some of my data. So for when I'm prospecting.
Okay, and I'm going to ask one follow-up question, so the rest of the other two of you can get ready to answer this one also. So kind of old school versus new school. Do you geographical farm?
I do.
Okay.
I do a farm. Yes.
Yep. Yep. Postcards? Is it
Um,
is it snail mail or is it or
it's
is it
interesting you say
digital?
that because no, it's digital, and I'm trying to get a Facebook list together of my geographical farm because I did spend quite a lot of money in postcards, and for about 18 months never got anything out of it. So I realized that my specific farm does not do well with postcards. I know other agents do really well with postcards, my specific farm doesn't. So I'm more going now with the Facebook lists and targeting them through that.
I think everybody needs to know geographical farm is a slow roll. It's not a today deal. It's
Yeah.
it's a long-term deal. So, Chris, we'll move on to you. Relationship systems and geographical farms. What's your comments on any
Yeah,
of those?
yeah, it's interesting, Krista. A lot of similarities to our journey. Again, Brian Buffini, big advocate, and have coached with him over the years and implemented a lot of his stuff. Oh, by the way, I did remember it was Steve Joe Nego was Brian's partner who did the instant inventory. And I do a lot of the parties too to keep the relationships going. I do. There's a local old theater that was renovated, and I book that, and I have a private event where we have some food, some pizzas and snacks and candies for the kids, and we do a theater, a movie night. So it's like usually a first run movie, and I invite all of my past clients and friends and family and the team, and it's fun. I usually do that in March, and then in Thanksgiving, the Sunday before Thanksgiving, I have a local microbrewery that we partner with, and we do pints and pies. And so everybody can order an apple or a pumpkin pie, and we come and we have music, and it's kind of like an open house. You can stop by, grab your pie, and run, or hang out, have a beer. And my brother is my mortgage lender, and he partners with me on a lot of marketing and co-branding. So we have pint glasses with our brand on it, and everybody gets a pint glass and a pie, and it's fun. And people look
Right.
forward to they look forward to that now, and it's kind of like a fun event to go to. And it's really been a lifeblood of my business. It's like 70% of my business is referral or repeat. So it's a great way to keep in touch with people and see how they're doing and prime the pump for referrals. I do some, we did a lot of postcard mailings for, 10 years. And like you said, Jim, it's a long game. And there was times where you could see when that mailing hit, 500-piece double-sided postcard that would hit, the phone would ring. And there was definite like top of mind awareness, or the, oh my gosh, that's right. It was just a gentle reminder. I did stop doing the postcards about a year ago as the market started to shift, and I kind of panicked a bit. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm spending so much money. Where can I cut? And now I'm trying to do some more of the geo-targeting with Facebook, Google, YouTube, and I've kind of tinkered around with some different companies to look at what they can do for me. But again, like what Krista said, looking at your return on investment and being smart where you spend your money, and also knowing that a lot of these things are not going to be instantaneous results for us. But it's good. I mean, I think the EXP community where we can tap into each other and say, hey, Krista, how did that work for you in Florida? Or what are you finding for your geo-targeting? I do like that. And I think through work chat, workplace, and different venues that we have to connect, just, as opposed to just looking for generic reviews, we can actually measure other colleagues' ROI and how they're doing. So that's what I
Exactly.
like about checking and balancing.
Right, exactly. I was a top producer user for years, and it got so bad there for a while, and then they sold. But I hired a gentleman to help me with my KV Core.
Yep.
We have a call every week, and it's amazing what that KV Core can do. So if it is a great tool to use. It's available to all the agents. You just got to open it up and start. And if you need
Yeah.
help, hire somebody to help you, because we're doing targeting and retargeting and ads and just all kinds of neat things in through KV Core, and getting valuation requests and so forth. So
That's great, Jim. So you have a scheduled meeting with someone who's like an expert in KV Core, so it kind of forces you to sit in class.
Yep, that's correct. Every Tuesday at 11:15, I have a phone call with a gentleman, and he uses Canva as a board, and it's like, what are we working on today? What have we done? Where are you
Wow.
at with this? And so it is forcing me to use KV Core. So if you put your money where, you spend money on it, then you start saying, okay, how am I going to use this? And so
That's a great
it
idea.
it's a
Yeah.
tremendous, and so there are, we're not supposed to give advertisements to anybody on here, but if you look around, you can find somebody that's an expert in KV Core.
Yep.
And
Okay.
so
That's a great suggestion. I think I need to do that because, like Krista was saying, it's a big task, and I feel like I'm tipping the iceberg in what I'm using of it.
right, right.
Yeah.
All right, Vinod, what relationship systems, geographical farms? Feel free to speak on any of those. What you're comfortable with, what you use.
Sure, Jim. All right. So before I answer that question, can I ask you a question, please?
Yes.
So this KV Core, it's been 2.5 years with this company, and believe me, I tried to learn, but I could not. So as you rightly mentioned that you have hired somebody, so my question to you is it kind of a VA or is it kind of a real person, full-time person you have hired?
It is a full-time person. He is actually an EXP agent, but he's not a producing agent, but he is an EXP agent, and then he has virtual assistants himself that he farms stuff out to. So we can do um, skip trace list. So I had a brew distillery listed for sale. I said, okay, give me everybody that owns a brewery or a distillery within 400 miles of my location, and they can find you a skip trace list. And then he sets up a mailer where it sends out to all of those. And those skip trace lists, you get the phone numbers and email addresses. Some of them are going to be bad. There's probably 10% of them aren't correct stuff, but you continually work on hitting those same people off those skip trace lists and so forth. So there's all kinds. I mean, I'm sure there's several people out there that are experts with KV Core that you can just Google or whatever, or somebody can
Yeah,
hit me up
yeah.
privately, and I can tell you who we use if you want to email
Yeah,
me, and we can
please.
follow that.
Yeah, definitely. What I'll do is I'll connect with you, and if you can probably, refer, if you have some of the references, you can share. Because I know, like, lot of people, lot of agents in our company, they are using KV Core. I believe not up to the 100%, but at least 60, 70, 80%. But what we are doing is we are just using probably 10, 15, 20%, right?
Right.
So
It's a huge program, and it can do some wonderful things. And it's just you have to make a concerted effort, or you have to almost promise yourself you're going to use it. And the best way to do that's spend some money on it, and then you will use it. So, and I'm
well,
not using it to its full potential either, but we're learning. It's just one step at a time. You don't eat well in one bite.
right, right. So I'll ask for the help. And now back to your question is that for me, I'm keeping the relationship. So it's a good idea given by Krista that I mean she does like 4 or 5 or small meetups on a yearly basis. What we are doing from last whatever 10 years that we do a huge party at the end of the year near to Christmas time. So we gather all our past clients, some of the vendors, and that's a event for almost more than 500 people. We do it once a year, but then again, it gives us a lot of positive return on investment, and a lot of people they remember that party, that event, because we spend a lot of money on there, like food, drink, games, gifts, so a lot of things, and then we try to hire the local news papers. They cover that event and publish in their publications or put it up on their websites. So that is one thing for sure which we do. But another thing which I learned uh, from EXP as well, that for our past clients, I don't have a really good CRM, but I do have my Excel sheet. So my admin keeps on working on that. So she tells me that, okay, now these are 10 or 15 or 20 birthdays or anniversaries. If we know anniversaries, we know it. But if we know the birth dates of our clients, so what I do is I kind of try to make a very small video, right? And I just send that video to that particular client or that particular friend or family, and they really, really appreciate that. Apart from my other social media updates, I have made some broadcast lists on my WhatsApp. So what it does is that whenever I'm posting anything, whether it's a new listing, any updates in the market, or like whatever is going on in real estate market, so they normally get those videos or updates as a broadcast list. So which keeps me, I believe, in the top of their head that I'm still in the business and I'm still doing great, and I can help them out in their future investments as well.
Great, good deal, good deal. So just to add on to that, KV Core, you can put a prospect's birthday in, and it will automatically send them birthday wishes every year. Anniversaries, home anniversaries, any of that. You put those dates in, click a little button, it'll automatically send stuff out to them. So that's another thing. And in the world, there is training on KV Core. So we got a note here that a lot of information said, somebody said it was difficult to use KV Core. There's a lot of training on YouTube about KV Core. If you make a concerted effort and just say, I can't learn it all in one day. What do I want to learn in KV Core today? I want to learn how to put a contact record in. I want to learn the contact record and the spouse. There's a spouse section in a contact record. So I'm going to get a contact record in. Okay. So now I know how to put a contact record in. The next thing I'm going to say, I want to put their birthday in. How do I get them a turn on their birthday or their anniversary? And so put yourself as in a test and just see if it works. But there's tons of stuff on YouTube. So thanks on that, Krista, that there is tons of stuff on KV Core, and you just got to do a little bit at a time, man. We didn't, icons didn't get to where they were on the very first day. They worked for it, so it just takes time.
Absolutely. And Jim, I just wanted to say real quick,
Sure.
it's good that everybody knows that we're icons, and we still can't, maybe except for you, figure out KV Core, right? Because everybody, gets frustrated. I know we have people that are frustrated with KV Core, but we don't even know how to do it well. So, that's just part of the learning curve for everybody.
Right. And everybody learns differently, some people can sit down and just go, log in and figure out how to do it. Some people have to learn from a video, and some people have to get it pounded in their head like me. So, and it's, I don't know how to use it. I just know that I don't know how to use it, and I've contacted somebody to help me use it. So, I know my strengths and weaknesses, and learning that way, I have to have somebody to show me. So, we're going to touch real briefly on something that Vinod said here was videos. How do you use videos? Do you use videos, and how do you use videos in your business, and how for your marketing, for your personal marketing? So Krista, we'll start with you.
So I definitely use videos. I think it tells a story better than just a picture. So on all of my listings, I will do a video on it, and especially in the luxury arena, if you want to get into that, anywhere around the country, all sellers are now expecting a video to go on YouTube and to go on your social media, and then it's to be shareable. So definitely, that is something that you have to spend money on. And then short content form, I do reels on Instagram that then I post to Facebook as well. And you get a lot more engagement with videos.
Give us an
with
example
a static
of content.
Picture.
Yeah, give us an example of content you would use for a couple of your reels, Krista.
So I just posted yesterday or last night about a win of a client of mine, a buyer who got multiple. We were not not a multiple offer, but anyway, a cute condo. And I told the story about how we saw several different condos. She was a little bit discouraged, and we got this condo under contract. Of course, I only posted after all contingencies are done because I don't want to jinx myself.
Knock on wood.
But that creates a lot of engagement, and people are asking me, where is this? How much is this? And can you send me information about something like that? So it just it creates an emotional connection when you do video.
Correct. All right, Chris. What about videos? How do you use them? Do you use them?
Yeah, I do. I think to echo what Chris has said, it's very true. It's like I think people feel like they can meet you before they've ever met you through video. So to have video on your website, to have video on all of your content, like I do a lot of. Sometimes I'll just do randomly Facebook Live. Hey, here, putting a sign in a bright, beautiful, brand new listing, and kind of just quickly put that out there, and it stays, and so people can see that even if it's stale or older from years ago, whatever. I did hire a company called Viral. We're not supposed to promote, but whatever. I don't use them anymore, but they were great to partner with, and they did a lot of similar to what you were doing, Jim, with KB Core with that person. It was a scheduled video shoot, and it was through Zoom. So I had content, I had scripts, and I could prepare. And then I would connect with this person with the company and Zoom, and she would kind of coach me through. And today we're talking about how to win multiple offer situation, or today we're talking about how to live in your home while you're selling it, or today we're talking about how to buy and sell at the same time, or what are the different contingencies of an offer mean, and kind of educational and fun. And I did that for a solid year and built a database and bank of great video content that's there forever. And they call it like evergreen content. So it's not specific to a time.
Right.
It's something that people could
Timeless.
go back to and learn. Yep.
How many people in the audience here today? And thanks, great audience here today. We appreciate you guys sticking around. How many of you love to see yourself on video? Just put a yes in there. Everybody, nobody likes to see themselves on video. We don't sound like we sound in our own head, but we are who we are, and people will do business with you because you are who you are. So
Yep.
There's some people that just don't like to do video. They don't like the way that their voice sounds when they're on video. They don't like the way they look, but just do it. That's the way. The way that you are in video is how people see you, whether you like it or not. So just do video. It's a time constraint thing for me, so yeah, video is very important, and that's the buzzword for the last 3, 4, 5 years. Doing more videos. So, Vinod, what about you? Videos? What's your favorite video story? How do you use them, and so forth?
Yeah, so I love videos because that has given me a lot of recognition and a lot of positive results, and a couple of listings as well after I did videos for continuously 2 years. So in my initial 2 years, the fan following or visitors or subscribers were very minimal. But now, once you never know which video can take it off. But again, as I earlier mentioned, that everybody should be doing it with very much consistency. That it's not that you post video today and then you post another video after a month. So if you're posting it, so how does these algorithms work? So I mean, you got to post something on a regular basis, maybe 3 times a week, 7 times a week. So now what to post? I believe there is lots and lots of content available. For me, what I do is I normally do updates on the real estate market. So I do it on a daily basis. What is going on in the market? As far as inflation is concerned, rate of interests are concerned, or whatever is impacting a normal Canadian or a North American person. So with that, it doesn't sound that I'm selling anything to them, but I get a lot of engagement, and now I've started getting calls, I believe, on a daily basis, that people, they start asking that, okay, what is next happening? As if I'm a financial analyst, as if I'm someone who knows how the government is doing their next steps. So but believe me, whosoever is listening this conversation today, I would urge and request and tell everybody, go out of your comfort zone, start making a video, however you look, don't worry about it, because you have to go out of that comfort zone, and you will never be perfect. Maybe your clothes are not perfect, maybe your hair are not perfect, or whatever, but start doing it, and definitely will see good and positive results of those videos. Because I always say one thing that either you do door knocking or you do phone knocking. So for me, I'm knocking at the people masses they're on their phones, so they can't keep me out of their heads. So this is what I would tell everybody to do.
Thanks. Good point. So I follow some different coaches online, and one of the comments that one of the coaches I follow, and then we're going to go into coaching here just for a couple seconds. I think we have just a few minutes left, but let me read this. Fear is a negative emotion created by belief that something is going to harm you in the future. Okay, now let's read that again. Fear is a negative emotion created by the belief that something is going to harm you in the future. Okay, I've read it 100 different ways, and that's what hit me right there. So you have a fear of being on video, and what it's doing for me is I have a fear of agent attraction. I have a fear of being rejected by other agents that I'm trying to recruit. So we can talk a minute about coaching. Do any of you have a coach? Have you had a coach, and do you recommend it? Crystal, we'll start with you.
Yes, I've had a coach, and it's amazing. It brings a lot of accountability. So I said before, I started with Brian Buffini. A few of my brokers over the years have been great coaches and mentors. And last year, I started with another coach. Are we allowed to say names here or no? Sorry.
Meg, you're the boss.
Okay. I don't know, Meg.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Oh,
go ahead.
okay.
It'll be
So
all right.
I was coaching with Workman Success. I know,
Right.
the gentleman was actually at Build, and that's an amazing platform as well. So it brings, for me, it was about the accountability. Every time I have a coaching call, I am scrambling to get all my numbers in because I fear my coach in a good way.
Accountability.
Yeah, in a good way. And if I didn't do something that he told me to do, I literally feel so embarrassed. So, if I wouldn't have that, I don't think I would have done as well in life. So there has to be somebody that is holding you accountable to your actions and where you want to go.
Exactly. Every great person that does anything, Michael Jordan, who in my mind, I'm an old guy, he was the greatest basketball player ever. He had a coach. He had multiple coaches for different things. So even the best people in their careers, it takes 10,000 hours to master something. With a coach, you can compress that to 6,000 or 7,000 hours. So if you have somebody telling you, hey, that's wrong, do it this way, quicker than you finding out after running into the wall 10 times yourself, they can compress that time. So Chris, have you had a coach? Do you have a coach?
I have had coaches. I worked with Brian Buffini, Tom Ferry over the years. And actually my coach, Lars Hedenborg, is my sponsor for EXP. Back in 2020, I was working with his great real estate B school, and he does all kinds of stuff within the EXP culture now. But yeah, it's interesting. Last year, I succumbed to fear and panic a little bit as the market shifted and my team shrunk. I lost some agents, and I didn't stay with my coach. And so for the last year, I have not had a coach, and I think without it, I recluse, or you kind of, I go back
Right.
to some bad habits, and I think a coach really does move you forward, as well as holding you accountable, like you were saying. It does kind of get you out of your own way, because I think we all can get stuck in our own way, and we get in our own way.
You're not moving forward, you're going backward.
Yeah, and so, but I did it because of money. I was
Right.
watching the economy. I was watching the economy shift. I was watching the market shift, and my volume was going down. Interest rates were going up, and I was like trying to cut costs. And one of them was a coach, and my coach said, he's like, Chris, this is the time when you're going to need a coach. I was like, I know, but I need to save some money.
Right. So I have one question for you, Chris. You said
Yeah.
your brother's your mortgage originator.
Yes.
If a deal goes south, is it his fault or your fault?
If a deal goes south, well, I mean, to
I'm
be
just kidding
honest, no, yeah, you're right. We've sitting at Thanksgiving dinner, and we start talking shop, and my wife and his wife are like, oh, here we go.
Right, right. All right, Vinod, give us what your comments on coaching. Have you had a coach? Do you use a
Yes,
coach? Do you think it's important?
I used to have a coach, Mike Ferry, but I had it for 2 or 3 years, I believe. But after that, I don't have any coach at the moment, as now the market is shifting. So we are going back to the basics, that what we learned in our early years. So I mean, connections, and as I mentioned earlier, admire it, the power of one more, right? So whatever we were doing, now we are doubling it down. That, let's say we were making 10 calls, so I try to make 15 now. If we were sending 5 emails, we're trying to send 10 emails. Earlier I used to make only 3 videos in a week, so now I believe I make 6 or 7 videos. So I believe the more we are doing, the more we are getting. And one thing which I would like to say is that I've learned now that unattach yourself with the outcome of anything. So if you can do anything without thinking that what is going to be the outcome, you are perfectly fine. And that's all from my side.
Work like you don't need the money and it'll come.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, panelists, let's give our audience a great round of applause. I don't know if you can click on your little thing there and make your hands clap right there, but let's give the audience for sticking around. We appreciate the audience. Meg, I think that's probably our time, isn't it? Is there anything else we need to cover, or anybody have any questions or any closing comments?
Yeah, thank you so much, Jim. Thank you for hosting such a wonderful session. Yeah, we have a couple minutes. If anybody has a question for these agents, please feel free to open up your mic or type it in the chat box quick if you'd like. Oh, that's a very nice comment, Harrison.
Wow, I'm humbled. It's because of the panelists.
I truly enjoy being a part of these iConversations. I feel like even as a staff member here at EXP, I'm one of those people that says EXP has changed my life, and I learned so much from all of you. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, on one closing note, I've sold real estate for 32 years. I've had multiple transactions with a client. I've had 3 or 4 transactions with him in the past 3 or 4 years. I've been with EXP 6 years now, coming up on 6 years. And he said, "Jim, I have never seen you so energized." I said, "It's a great place to be, man." So it's only a matter of time till everybody gets here.
That's great. And
Thanks a lot, panelists. We appreciate it. Krista, Chris, Vinod, we appreciate it. Nice chatting with you guys. Thanks, audience.
Thanks,
Meg.
Thanks again. Great to meet all of you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes, I appreciate that. Thanks.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
I was wondering about the KV Core, how I can hire expert.
Yeah, the gentleman I use is out of Louisiana. I don't know. I don't know how much capacity he has, if he's got any available time. It's an hour Zoom call once a week. I'm spending $500 a month, but it's more than learning. It's getting me business too. We're actively doing things to try to get listings. I'm a listing agent. I don't work with many buyers other than my listings when they sell and need to buy something, or past clients that have been buyers. So I don't work with a ton of buyers. We close probably 70 listings a year. We get probably 70 listings a year. We probably close. I've got a one agent on my team. I think he closed 30 transactions last year, and we did, I think, 130 transactions last year. So we're in a small community. Our average sales less than 200 some thousand, 220, somewhere in that range. So I'm still actively in the market every day. So I would say, just get online, try to Google, and if you can find somebody that's a KV Core coach, or get into the world when they have some KV training. Your state may also have some KV training, so go to your state meetings or ask your state broker if they have KV Core. Most states have somebody that they're actually hooked up with, and I met my KV Core expert through our state meetings. So if you're not going to your state meetings every week, go in there. It's a wealth of information. It takes half hour, an hour once a week to learn that. So get involved. It's through the world and through the workplace. You know, there's a lot of information thrown at you through EXP. There's if you can't say that they don't offer you something, because there's plenty of training out there. So you know, you just have to go find it. So you know, I don't know how to tell you specifically to find your coach, but you know,